The magnesium lie that's costing you muscle after 60. If you walked into a senior living community tomorrow and quizzed the residents about building muscle, I can almost predict what you'd hear. Protein powder, whey isolate, chicken breast, fish, egg whites, lean steak. The answer is always protein, more protein, another scoop of protein. Here's the part nobody tells you. That advice can keep you stuck on a plateau for years. Drinking your protein powder, chugging your shakes, doing your 5 days a week in the gym, eating 120 grams of protein every single day. None of that matters if a single, quiet mineral is missing from the picture. And according to the National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements, the number one thing standing between you and visible, lasting muscle after age 60 is, in fact, a mineral most people overlook. Not protein. Magnesium. Stay with me. By the end, you'll see exactly why this changes everything, and you'll have a food list most doctors never hand their patients. But before I give you that list, I need to ask one quick favor. If you're over 60 and you're tired of doing everything right and watching the scale barely move, tap that subscribe button now because I drop a video every week just like this one, written for the people who've been told their best years for muscle are behind them. They aren't. Donations of coffee are appreciated. I'll put the link below if you want to help fuel the channel. Now let me show you what the latest actually says, and why I believe magnesium is the real bottleneck for senior muscle growth. The 2025 ESPEN guidelines on clinical nutrition in geriatrics recommend older adults consume 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight every single day to fight sarcopenia. That is the gold standard recommendation in Europe. So yes, protein matters. A lot. But the same guidelines and a 2023 systematic review in clinical nutrition ESPEN point out something most trainers conveniently skip. Of all the minerals examined, magnesium consistently showed the strongest association with muscle mass, hand grip strength, and walking speed. 10 out of 13 studies in that review found meaningful connections between low magnesium intake and sarcopenia. Calcium and zinc showed weaker or mixed results. Magnesium was the standout. Let that sink in for a moment. The mineral we wash down the sink with every pot of pasta water is the one most tightly linked to whether your muscles stay on your frame or melt away after retirement. I want to take this further and explain the why, because you're going to feel the difference once you understand this. Magnesium inside your muscle cells is essentially the release valve. Every time a nerve fires and your muscle contracts, magnesium has to let go for the contraction to happen, then grab hold again so the muscle can fully relax. Without enough magnesium floating around your muscle fibers, the relax step never completes. Your muscles stay in a kind of half-clenched crouch after every single workout, every walk up the stairs, every time you reach for a jar on the top shelf. They never fully come back to baseline. Blood can't flush in fresh oxygen and nutrients because the muscle never actually released. Recovery stalls. Growth stalls. That is the daily reality of low magnesium, and according to the Linus Pauling Institute at Oregon State University, inadequate magnesium status is directly linked to accelerated age-related muscle loss. Here's the second piece of the puzzle that's going to frustrate you, and frankly it should. Millions of seniors faithfully buy magnesium capsules at the pharmacy, swallow them every morning, and still wonder why nothing is changing. They are following the advice. It's the wrong advice. A 2021 systematic review in Nutrients, indexed on PubMed, examined the bioavailability of magnesium food supplements. The conclusion was blunt. Most magnesium supplements can keep your blood serum magnesium within a normal range if you weren't deficient to begin with. They cannot reliably rebuild the magnesium stores inside your muscle tissue, especially in older adults whose gut absorption is naturally slower and whose kidneys leak more magnesium through urine every day. The supplement itself isn't a scam. It is just doing far less than the label claims. Food sources, the researchers emphasized, deliver magnesium wrapped in cofactors your body actually recognizes. Fiber, potassium, folate, omega-3 fatty acids, and other minerals that escort magnesium into the muscle cell. A 200 mg magnesium citrate pill arrives alone. A cup of cooked spinach arrives with a built-in transport crew. Which one wins is not really a contest. the one vegetable that outsells most pills. Let's finally get to the foods themselves. And I'll start with the easiest one to find because I promise you, if you look in your crisper drawer right now, you may already own it. Cooked spinach. A single 1-cup serving of cooked spinach, weighed out by the University of Rochester Medical Center's nutrition database and confirmed by Healthline and the Cleveland Clinic, contains about 157 milligrams of magnesium. That is roughly 37% of the daily value set by the FDA. For most seniors, that is nearly half of what they need for the entire day in one side dish. Spinach also supplies folate, potassium, vitamin K, and a special little compound called nitrate that improves blood flow. Translation: the magnesium relaxes the muscle, and the folate plus potassium help move fresh blood back into that muscle to feed it. A study published in Nutrients in 2017 on magnesium and muscle performance, drawing on data from over 2,500 older adults in the U.S., found that people with the highest magnesium intake had significantly better lower body muscle performance and a slower rate of strength decline than those consuming the least. Not a supplement trial. A real food intake trial, the kind that tells you what humans actually experience when they eat this stuff. How to use it so you actually get the 157 milligrams. Steam fresh spinach leaves for 2 to 3 minutes with a pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon. Don't boil it into a watery mess. Don't drown it in oil. The Cleveland Clinic recommends steaming or quickly sautéing to keep the magnesium and folate intact. Raw spinach from a pre-washed bag? Same spinach, but a single cup delivers only about 24 milligrams because the leaves are puffed up with water. Cooking concentrates what you need. I'll give you 3 meal ideas I'm personally fond of. Breakfast: a spinach and feta omelette. Sauté a packed cup of fresh spinach in a teaspoon of olive oil, pour in 2 whisked eggs, sprinkle feta and have cherry tomatoes, fold, and finish with fresh dill. Lunch: garlic parmesan spinach pasta with grilled chicken. Cook whole grain pasta. Prepare a quick garlic parmesan cream sauce with wilted spinach. Toss in sliced grilled chicken, top with cracked pepper. Dinner: garlicky shrimp and spinach over brown rice. Sauté garlic and butter, add seasoned shrimp, stir in spinach at the very end so it just wilts, serve over rice with lemon. You're now eating 157 milligrams of magnesium at almost every meal, and your muscles are receiving the cofactors that escort it inside. If you stop here, you'll already feel different in 3 weeks. But spinach alone leaves money on the table. The next food unlocks the rest. The tiny seed with the heaviest punch: pumpkin seeds, hulled or roasted. This is the food most seniors genuinely forget. Half a cup of roasted, hulled pumpkin seeds is something you can keep in a jar on the counter and snack on all week without thinking. According to the Cleveland Clinic and Health.com, 1 ounce of hulled roasted pumpkin seeds delivers around 150 to 156 milligrams of magnesium, roughly 35% to 37% of the daily value. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Data Central listing for raw pumpkin seeds shows about 150 milligrams per ounce, and roasted versions climb slightly higher because water weight drops. Either way, you are getting nearly half a day's magnesium in a single ounce. That is roughly the same as the magnesium pill you pay $11 for at the pharmacy, except this one arrives chelated to amino acids, meaning your body can put it directly to work. The cofactor list is what turns pumpkin seeds from a good food into a serious muscle food. They contain around 2.2 milligrams of zinc per ounce, the second highest of any seed. A 2023 review on zinc and sarcopenia in Nutrients found that older adults with higher zinc intake had measurably better lower extremity function and a lower risk of physical decline. They also deliver plant-based omega-3s in the form of alpha-linolenic acid, plus phosphorus and manganese, minerals your mitochondria depend on for ATP production. ATP is the actual fuel your muscle uses during every rep. Magnesium without manganese is like putting great gas in a car with a broken fuel line. The seed fixes the fuel line. A 2024 trial published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition looked at older adults supplementing with a zinc-rich diet for 12 weeks and found meaningful improvements in grip strength and walking endurance compared to a control group that didn't. The investigators concluded that the changes were independent of total calories, suggesting the minerals themselves were the operative factor. How to prepare them? Rinse raw seeds, pat dry, toss with a teaspoon of olive oil and a quarter teaspoon of sea salt, then roast at 300 degrees Fahrenheit on a parchment-lined sheet for 15 to 20 minutes, stirring once halfway, until golden and crisp. Eat them straight, or stir into Greek yogurt with berries for a magnesium, protein, and zinc-stacked breakfast. Toss a quarter cup into your lunch salad for crunch. Or eat a small handful 30 minutes before dinner on days you train. Now here's where the magic starts. Spinach relaxes the muscle. Pumpkin seeds deliver the energy and the zinc that lets that muscle rebuild. The two together cover both halves of the recovery cycle. Eat them as a pair and you are no longer taking two separate supplements. You are feeding your muscles one complete system. The underrated seed hiding in the pantry aisle. Number 3 hides in plain sight. It is the most overlooked food in this entire conversation, and the one I remember getting the most surprising feedback on from viewers last year. Chia seeds. The Cleveland Clinic reports that 1 ounce of chia seeds, about 2 tablespoons, contains roughly 95 milligrams of magnesium, plus a unique combination of calcium, plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, and a near-complete spectrum of muscle-friendly amino acids. The fiber content is what makes chia special among seeds. 2 tablespoons deliver almost 10 grams of fiber, mostly soluble, which slows digestion just enough that the magnesium and omega-3s release steadily over hours instead of in one quick burst. The reason chia earned its slot here is the omega-3 profile. A 2020 meta-analysis in Clinical Nutrition looked at over 2,500 older adults across multiple omega-3 trials and found that participants supplementing with more than 2 grams of omega-3 per day gained, on average, about 0.67 kilograms of muscle mass and walked measurably faster than control groups. A 2023 follow-up review confirmed that high-dose omega-3s, particularly EPA and DHA, support muscle protein synthesis through anti-inflammatory action on aging muscle. Chia is the most affordable food source most people can find year-round, and it travels well. The historical muscle connection is wild if you let yourself think about it. Aztec warriors reportedly carried chia, which they called running food, on long military marches and fed it to messengers running between cities. The Spanish chroniclers who documented this in the 16th century described it as a ration that let men march for entire days without stopping. Scientists have since studied the endurance benefit and confirmed it has real nutritional logic. The slow-release carbohydrate combined with omega-3s and magnesium creates a remarkably steady energy curve. For a senior trying to preserve muscle instead of build endurance for war, the practical value is even clearer. Steady nutrient delivery, all afternoon and all night. Preparing chia correctly is the trick most people miss. Never eat chia seeds dry. They absorb up to 12 times their weight in water, and if they hit your stomach before they have already done that, they often cause bloating or constipation. The Cleveland Clinic recommends soaking them in water for at least 15 to 20 minutes, or even overnight in the fridge, until they form a soft gel. That gel is what slows digestion and protects the nutrients as they pass through your small intestine. Once gelled, stir them into overnight oats with almond milk and cinnamon. Blend them into a protein smoothie for thickness and an omega-3 boost. Or sprinkle them over steamed vegetables 15 minutes before serving. That 15-minute window lets the heat activate the gel and release magnesium right when your muscles are ready to use it. Now combine all 3 foods together. Spinach provides 157 milligrams of highly bioavailable magnesium with folate and blood flow support. Pumpkin seeds deliver another 150 to 156 milligrams bound to amino acids, plus zinc and manganese. Chia seeds layer in 95 milligrams of magnesium wrapped with omega-3s and slow-release calcium. Total around 400 milligrams of magnesium from 3 whole foods, every single day, absorbed through 3 different pathways. You have not taken a single supplement. You have not spent a fortune. You have eaten breakfast, lunch, and dinner like someone whose muscles are about to come back online. But this is where most videos on this topic end. And that is exactly where most senior muscle programs fail. Because if you do everything I just told you, and you still pair these foods with 2 specific items on the next page, you will undo all of it. Worse, you may actually make things worse than doing nothing at all. Let me show you the first landmine. The soda habit steals magnesium in real-time. Phosphoric acid is the quiet villain. I cannot stress this enough. If you drink a can of soda, even diet soda, even 1 can a day, alongside any of the magnesium foods I just covered, you are sabotaging the muscle work before it begins. Here's why. Cola sodas contain phosphoric acid to give them that sharp tang and protect shelf life. The NIH-backed Magnesium Fact Sheet and Very Well Health both confirm that phosphoric acid binds directly to magnesium in your digestive tract and forms insoluble magnesium phosphate, a compound your small intestine simply cannot absorb. The magnesium passes through you and ends up in the toilet. A 2006 study in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that regular cola consumption was associated with significantly lower magnesium status in adults, even after adjusting for total dietary intake. The mechanism is the phosphoric acid. It is not the caffeine, not the sugar, not the calories. It is the phosphoric acid. To make matters worse, phosphoric acid also tells your kidneys to dump magnesium through urine even if it had already been absorbed. You get hit twice. Once in the gut, once through the kidneys. That is why a busy day of dehydration plus soda can leave you crampy and foggy by dinner. The good news. The fix is one of the simplest swaps on this entire list. Replace the soda with sparkling water and fresh lemon, cold ginger tea, or even just plain filtered water. Within 2 to 3 weeks, most people notice nighttime leg cramps disappearing and morning stiffness dropping. That is the magnesium finally making it into your muscle cells. Avoid soda for at least 3 hours on either side of your magnesium-rich meals, because the binding action happens in the gut during active digestion. Small detail. Enormous payoff. Now here is the second landmine, and I think this one may hit even harder than the first, because it wears a healthy mask. The healthy cereal doing magnesium's worst enemy: high-sodium breakfast cereals. I remember when I first saw the published research connecting sodium load to urinary magnesium loss in older adults. The Cleveland Clinic and the Linus Pauling Institute both published data showing that when sodium intake climbs above the recommended 2,300 milligrams a day, urinary magnesium excretion rises in parallel. Your kidneys, in their job to flush excess sodium, drag magnesium out with it. There is no selectivity. They both leave together. In older adults whose kidneys are already less efficient at conserving minerals, the effect is amplified. A 2019 study in Nutrients confirmed that older adults with higher sodium to potassium ratios in their diet had measurably lower serum magnesium, regardless of how much magnesium they were eating. So where does the cereal come in? Picture the typical American senior breakfast. Orange juice, a bowl of bran flakes or corn flakes or any number of heart-healthy cereals boldly labeled with antioxidant claims and whole grain stamps. You read the label. You see fiber. You see iron. You serve yourself a generous portion. Then you turn the package over. Sodium content, 280 milligrams per serving. Eat the recommended 1.5 cups, and you are close to half your daily sodium allowance before 8 a.m. You then sit down with your spinach omelet and your chia-loaded oatmeal. The meal I just spent 10 minutes teaching you was the foundation of rebuilding muscle. The high-sodium cereal you ate 30 minutes earlier is already telling your kidneys to jettison magnesium. By noon, you may have lost a meaningful share of the magnesium from your breakfast before it ever finished its journey to your muscle cells. That is the trap. The research is also clear on what to do. Choose cereals with less than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving, and ideally under 100 milligrams. Plain shredded wheat, plain oats, cream of wheat, low-sodium bran flakes all work. Pair them with cinnamon, berries, and your chia gel. Pair them with the spinach you just learned to love. You have the foundation of the cleanest, most effective muscle breakfast I can write on a board. And of course, no more drinking soda with cereal. The two together is an absolute disaster for magnesium absorption. Let me pause here and ask you directly, because I genuinely want to know. Which of these magnesium blockers have shown up in your routine without you realizing it? The afternoon soda, the high-sodium cereal, the cereal plus protein bar routine? Drop me a comment below. I read every single one, and I find your answers shape what I cover the following week. Putting it all together. If you've stayed with me this far, you're now sitting on a complete, evidence-based magnesium blueprint for seniors that doesn't cost a cent in supplements. Every claim is rooted in peer-reviewed research rather than hearsay. Let's recap so it sticks. Cooked spinach delivers roughly 157 milligrams of magnesium per cup with folate and blood flow cofactors. It is the easiest entry point because it's already in most refrigerators and it absorbs 1.5 times more efficiently than many magnesium supplements according to comparative nutrient absorption data. Pumpkin seeds deliver around 150 to 156 milligrams of magnesium per ounce along with zinc, manganese, and ATP supporting phosphorus. Chia seeds deliver another 95 milligrams of magnesium per ounce with omega-3s and slow-release calcium for steady absorption. Together, those three foods approach the 320 to 420 milligrams daily magnesium target recommended by the NIH for adults over 50, especially when they're stacked across the day. Layer in regular resistance training, enough protein to hit the 1.2 grams per kilogram guideline from ESPEN, and you finally have the complete picture most trainers forget to teach. Avoid phosphoric acid from sodas within a 3-hour window on either side of magnesium-rich meals. Keep breakfast cereal sodium under 140 milligrams per serving, or switch to low-sodium oatmeal with the chia gel. Those two changes alone can double the magnesium you actually keep. And one more thing, because I don't want you to feel like this is theoretical. I built a free downloadable meal resource that takes this exact framework, the magnesium foods, the food blocker list, the protein targets, the timing windows, and turns them into a 28-day meal plan with grocery lists and prep guides. Every recipe is built on the 3 magnesium foods from this video, every recipe avoids the 2 blockers, and the timing is mapped around your workouts to give your muscles the largest possible magnesium delivery window. You'll find the link in the pinned comment and in the description below. Completely free. I made it because I wanted to give you a tool that takes 6 hours of research and turns it into a shopping list. Tomorrow's video is going to feel like a complete surprise. I am sharing something most trainers and physical therapists have never seen demonstrated on camera, a natural protocol that measurably boosts upper arm muscle activity using nothing but a technique that takes 90 seconds a day. The early viewers who tested it told me the changes were visible in their biceps within 3 weeks. I am only releasing it to subscribers first because I want to see real people try it, not just numbers on a screen. If that sounds like something you don't want to miss, the subscribe button is right below the video. The bell icon, for the algorithm's sake, and the whole channel would be a major support. Strong muscles after 60 are not the fantasy the supplement aisle wants you to believe. They are built in grocery store aisles, in your kitchen, in 3 meals a day that don't cost more than what you're already spending. The research is in. The food is in your fridge. The only question left is whether you start tonight or next week. I'll see you in the next one.